I don't know how many of you have seen the video from Manipur. I have, and frankly, words fail me today. There are no adjectives that even begin to describe the inhumanity that was on parade in Manipur 77 days ago. A mob of 800, stripping 3 women naked, heckling and molesting them, parading them down a village, and then gang raping the youngest. She's 21. Time has stood still for that girl since that day. She saw her father and brother being shot dead as they came to protect her. She saw the cops watching as the mob took over. Then for the next 77 days, ladies and gentlemen, she saw the deathly silence of the system. She saw her FIR being buried at the altar of sectarian loyalties. She saw her rapists roam free with weapons in their hands. She saw her state burn. What happened should burn us with shame. For 77 days, the Manipur government and police knew about the brutality and they kept silence. For 77 days, they did nothing. Who were they protecting? Who were they protecting? It took the video to go viral for the police to make their first arrest. It happened today, after 77 days. It happened on the first day of the monsoon session, shortly before the Prime Minister spoke. This is what he said.
मैं सभी मुख्यमंत्रियों से आग्रह करता हूं कि वे अपने राज्य में कानून व्यवस्था को और मजबूत करें, खास करके हमारी माताओं बहनों की रक्षा के लिए कठोर से कठोर कदम उठाएं। घटना चाहे राजस्थान की हो, घटना चाहे छत्तीसगढ़ की हो, घटना चाहे मणिपुर की हो, इस देश में हिंदुस्तान के किसी भी कोने में, किसी भी की राज्य सरकार में राजनीतिक वाद विवाद से ऊपर उठ करके कानून व्यवस्था का महात्मा, नारी का सम्मान, और मैं देशवासियों को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं, किसी भी गुनहगार को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। कानून अपनी पूरी शक्ति से, पूरी सख्ती से एक के बाद एक कदम उठाएगा। मणिपुर की इन बेटियों के साथ जो हुआ है, इसको कभी माफ नहीं किया जा सकता है।
This is the first time that the Prime Minister has said anything about the ethnic war raging on in Manipur for the last 78 days. 145 people have been dead since then. Any right-minded citizen would have said that Manipur should have been top priority for our parliament today. It was day one, but it wasn't. What was priority was hangama over Manipur. So both houses were adjourned twice and finally adjourned for the day without doing anything meaningful. When leader of the opposition Mallikarjun Kharge got up to speak on Manipur, the BJP disrupted him.
I am not allowed to raise this 267, and you know the Manipur is burning. And Manipur is burning, and the women are raped and naked, paraded, everything. And Prime Minister is keeping quiet. He is giving a statement outside. He is giving a statement outside.
Honorable members. 267 rule. I'm reading 267, the first line. Page 92 says, any rule be suspended in its application to a motion to the business listed before the council of the day. The rule in question shall be suspended for the time being. This means no other business till 267 is discussed first. Where does 176 come into this? There's no 176. It is on 267, and we want a discussion here on Manipur. We want a discussion, and the Prime Minister has to open his mouth.
One second.
Manipur. How can he open it?
Honorable members,
How is the Prime Minister of India? How is the Prime Minister?
पश्चिम बंगाल में जिस प्रकार से हिंसा की घटनाएं हुई, जिस प्रकार से छत्तीसगढ़ हो या राजस्थान हो, उसमें नारी शक्ति का बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण परिस्थितियां हैं। ऐसे में जब सरकार ने स्पष्ट कर दिया कि हम मणिपुर की घटनाओं पर चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार हैं, उसके बावजूद कांग्रेस और बाकी विपक्षी दल सदन की कार्रवाई को डिस्टर्ब करें, सदन की कार्रवाई में रूल्स के तहत डिस्कशन ना होने दें, ये स्पष्ट दिखाता है कि पूरी तरीके से कांग्रेस और विपक्ष सदन की कार्रवाई को चलने नहीं देना चाहती है।
उस वीडियो को देखने के बाद अगर आपके पास मात्र 36 सेकंड का वक्त है और आप सभ्य समाज की दुहाई दे रहे हैं, तो दुर्भाग्य है इस देश का कि आप इस देश के चुने हुए प्रधानमंत्री हैं। 77 दिन बाद स्मृति ईरानी जी आप जागी हैं। सत्ता आपके हाथ में है, संस्थाएं आपके पास है, पुलिस आपके पास है, बीरेन्द्र सिंह को बर्खास्त करना आपके हाथ में है। आप चुप बैठे हुए हैं।
मणिपुर को बात में उन्होंने नहीं कहा ऐसा। उन्होंने मणिपुर का साथ बंगाल को जोड़ा, छत्तीसगढ़ को जोड़ा, राजस्थान को जोड़ा, लेकिन उन्होंने देश को तोड़ा। हमको काउंटर करने के लिए अगर कोई चीज को सप्रेस करे, किसको वॉइस को सप्रेस करे, तो ये देखा नहीं जाता। आज ये लोग संतरास का सौदागर है, बहनों को इज्जत लूटने का सौदागर है। इसी के लिए आप रियली सॉरी।
What governance is happening? Till this chief minister is there will be no justice. These killings will continue. So, for the sake of justice and to bring back normalcy, the Prime Minister should remove his chief minister and order a CBI inquiry and have a proper discussion in Lok Sabha. I am really shocked and surprised that a Prime Minister of 130 crore nation watches a video and then shows his pain. You are in power. Your party is in power in the state. Had that video not come out, what would have the Prime Minister done? He would have kept quiet. That is the most unfortunate part of this whole the reply of the Honourable Prime Minister.
This incident happened on the 3rd of May and the Prime Minister should have been aware of it, must have been aware of it. And he was not aware. If he's not aware, then something wrong with the system. And in any case, the kind of things that are happening in Manipur, the arson, the loot, the killings, the burnings, why has the Prime Minister been silent? I mean, since May 2nd. Since May 2nd.
Today, we also heard from Manipur's Chief Minister. Under him, Manipur has burnt for 78 days. Today, he said the state's cyber police is looking at the video to verify its authenticity. He said he has asked for combing operations in the area where the horror unfolded. This, ladies and gentlemen, is mind-numbing. This is mind-numbing. 64 days after the zero FIR is filed by the victims, the Chief Minister wants the area to be combed and for the video to be authenticated. 64 days they have known, officially. Unofficially, they would have known the day it happened because there was a police party, remember, that is watching on. It was from a police party that these women had been snatched by the mob. Are we to believe that the Chief Minister had no clue? That he didn't know? And what did the police do in the last 64 days since the FIR was filed? The silence and inaction is deliberate. There was a police party witness to the mob stripping and parading these women. Everyone knew what happened. It was just convenient to keep quiet and not do anything. Hear from Birendra Singh and yourself ask why this man should not be asked to resign.
I asked to have mass combing operation where the suspected areas, and I also asked to the cybercrime to see the video's authenticity. And yesterday night itself, in around 1:30 a.m., we have arrested one man culprit who are involved in this heinous crime.
Today, as words failed us, the Supreme Court spoke for the nation. The Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, took up the matter suo motu and said, and I quote him, "Using women as instruments in an area of communal strife to inflict gender violence is deeply, deeply disturbing. This is the grossest of human rights violations." He has asked the governor to act fast in the case, else, he said, the court will have to intervene. Ladies and gentlemen, the court's remarks today need to be heard over and over again by all of us, because the court went on to demand answers about what action has been taken to ensure such an incident is not repeated, about whether this is an isolated incident or whether this was a pattern in the last 78 days. And then the court said this: across history and across the world, the use of women as an instrument to perpetrate violence in these situations happened, and at least in a constitutional democracy, said the court, this is simply not acceptable. Manipur's governor is as shocked as any of us after watching the video. She says she has specifically asked her DGP why no action was taken despite an FIR by the victim. Listen in to what she's saying.
इस बात के लिए मैंने डीजीपी को बुलाया था आज, और पूरी तरह से उनको सारे मामलों का मैंने संज्ञान भी लिया और पूछा कि आप बताइए 18 तारीख की आज 20 जुलाई हो गई है, और जिस थाने में ये रिपोर्ट दर्ज की गई थी तो उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि ये घटना थी कांगकोपी जिला है यहाँ पर, और ये एक दूसरा जिला है जो कि दूसरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, क्योंकि वहाँ से कुकी इम्फॉल में इस जिले में नहीं आ सकते, इसलिए उन्होंने कांगकोपी जिले में ट्रांसफर किया था। फिर भी मैंने कहा कि जिस तरीके से दो बहनों का जो निवस्त्र करके और उनके साथ जो सामूहिक तरीके से दुष्कर्म किया गया है, इसकी तो मैं बहुत कड़ी निंदा करती हूं, और मैंने डीजीपी को कहा कि आप तत्काल इन सारे लोगों को गिरफ्तार करें और कड़ी से कड़ी कार्रवाई आप करें।
Just to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, only one person has been arrested so far. Only one person. It's been 77 days. The Congress party today has raked up the issue in Parliament, but also on the streets. Here you are seeing the all-Mahila Congress party staging a massive protest in the national capital near Jantar Mantar. You also had thousands of people hit the streets in Manipur's Churachandpur district after the horrific video went viral. Those pictures are from Manipur today. My guest this evening, Gargi Nandi Roy, is a political analyst. Zareta Letflang is a national secretary, the Indian National Congress. Chitra Ahentham is a journalist. She's an independent journalist. Zainab Sikandar is a columnist. And Kiya Ghosh is spokesperson of the BJP. Ladies, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror Now. I apologize if I've got the pronunciations of your name incorrect. I apologize for that to begin with. Kiya Ghosh, I want to start with you. Is there any reason why Mr. Biren Singh should continue to be the Chief Minister of Manipur? Any reason at all?
See, whether he should continue to be the Chief Minister of Manipur or not, obviously it's debatable. Definitely as a woman, and it's really heartening to see that there are only women present in this panel. All I can say is that it's highly condemnable, and whoever and how many people, whoever are guilty, they should be given the strictest punishment possible. I think no punishment is enough to bring justice to these women. Having said that, since I hail from Bengal, Shreya, I have to mention that in your the pre-talks, you showed Mamata Banerjee condemning the incident of Manipur. I would like to ask her, what right does Mamata Banerjee have to question about Manipur, where in very recent times after the Panchayat polls in Panchla, one of a BJP candidate, Panchayat poll candidate, she was paraded naked because for contesting on behalf of Bharatiya Janata Party. And not to mention that we as women members of BJP, we tried to approach to her, but the police didn't let us visit her. The police didn't let us talk to her. This is the situation of Bengal currently. Also, last year, one teacher in a school of South Dinajpur, she was stripped off by the villagers of that particular area. What justice was given to her? There have been innumerable incidents in Bengal where women are being gang raped, mass raped, and Mamta Banerjee herself, there has been an incident called Hashkhali rape. The victim, who was a minor, Mamta Banerjee, not only dishonored her, the girl who will never come back to, prove her innocence. She said that was she drunk? Was she pregnant? Was she having a love affair?
Kia.
This was how she dishonored the honor of a minor girl who was raped and who
Kia,
died the very
I
next
asked
day.
you a question
So,
on Manipur.
Lady from Bengal, we have been seeing
Kia,
this.
as a
We have
spokesperson
seen
of the
CPM
BJP,
regime.
I asked you, just a minute. Okay. Kia, here's what I'm saying. If it happens in Bengal, it doesn't mean it needs to happen in Manipur. If it has happened in Bengal, it absolutely doesn't mean that, and if it's okay for it to happen in Bengal, it's not okay for it to happen in Manipur. Point is, I asked you as a BJP spokesperson a question on Manipur, and you're talking to me about Bengal. Have we not spoken about Bengal ad nauseum? Ad nauseum,
Of course we
we have
Of course
spoken about what has
I'm not
happened in
denying to
Bengal.
that.
Today is the day to speak about Manipur. I want to ask you,
course, I
can
am
you give me,
condemning.
ladies, can you give
I
me a
am
minute here?
condemning
I
the
believe
incident of Manipur.
condemning से नहीं होता, कुछ सवालों का जवाब देना पड़ेगा. But can you give me a moment here, because I believe Biren Singh is holding a press conference, ladies. Let's quickly dip in and see what he's saying in his defense.
One has arrested yesterday, and recently I got one information, another one also arrested now. And this interrogation is going on. I don't want to make it more elaborate. Thank you.
So police got the information, registered the FIR, but started the investigation and action after 2 months.
देखो वही तो बोला है ना, ये मणिपुर में जो भावना जो है कंटिन्यूस चल रहा है, तो इसमें कौन कौन है, क्या क्या है, इसको आइडेंटिफाई करने में टाइम लगा. तो इमीडिएटली वीडियो मिला, इमीडिएटली रिएक्ट किया है. विल नॉट स्पेयर एनीवन. थैंक यू.
Forcibly taken from the police custody.
Ato ko malay. We have already.
Okay, so that was the Chief Minister of Manipur holding a press conference. It's hardly a press conference because he's hardly taking any questions there. He is just telling us, ladies, you're back on the panel with us. He's just telling us right now that a second person has now been arrested. So till this morning, there was one person who was arrested in the case. Now he's telling us that a second person has been arrested as well. So maybe we should just quickly put those lines on our top bands for our viewers as well. He was also asked that question, Kia Ghosh, that I'm trying to ask you. Why the silence for the last 2 months? And he's saying, jab video samne aaya, then we took action. Am I to believe, Kia, that the Chief Minister for the last 77 days has not known what has happened? Is that what I am to believe? Because I find it difficult to believe. I find it very difficult to believe that there has been an FIR 64 days ago and the Chief Minister has been silent and the police has done nothing. So when you say you condemn the incident, do you condemn the incident or do you also condemn the way the state government has behaved, the state police has behaved? This is deliberately looking away. This is nothing else but deliberately looking away, Kia. There was a police force team on the ground watching these girls being paraded naked. They had been overpowered by the mob. They didn't go and file an FIR. It took the girls to go first file a 0 FIR and for that FIR to be converted into the real FIR. So please don't tell me the Chief Minister knew. And what the Chief Minister is saying right now, I don't believe him. He's lying.
See, Shreya, what you choose to believe or what you don't choose to believe, it's entirely up to you. I can't say. But when the Chief Minister is saying he is taking strictest and immediate actions. We've seen one person being arrested last night. Today, as per his press conference, another one has been arrested, and he's assuring that each and every one who is behind this horrific incident shall not be spared. So what else you want? You why don't the
Yeah,
Congress? I saw in your
okay,
pre-talks that the Congress spokesperson, she was talking loud and about how BJP is backing. What about what's happening in Rajasthan? Rajasthan has currently become the rape capital. So why not ask Ashok Gehlot ji to resign urgently?
We did a show on
immediately?
Rajasthan
We have
yesterday.
seen in other states, in Kerala, just 2 days back,
We did a show on Rajasthan yesterday.
Rape has happened.
Kia, we did a show on Rajasthan yesterday. Today the show is on Manipur. We did a full show on Rajasthan yesterday. We questioned the Chief Minister as well. We questioned the rapes in his own constituency of Jodhpur. Today is not the day to talk about Jodhpur or West Bengal. No, that strictest action doesn't count if it's coming 77 days too late. I'll get into Congress. I'll get into Congress first.
From West Bengal, Shreya, it has. I have to ask this question because we are being faced. Each and every day, you have no idea under what situations we are doing the ground politics. Mamata Banerjee's party, each and every time we are being threatened, our women are being molested. So I am facing, I'm representing a state where the opposition, the women of opposition, not only Bharatiya Janata Party.
So what are you trying to say?
CPM, nobody said. So
what are you trying to say? That because it is happening in West Bengal, it should happen in Manipur as well. Is that what you're trying to say? Is that how you're trying to justify this?
I have condemned it, Shreya. If you can't get my point, then well, it's my failure. I've condemned it.
Okay, I got your point. No. I've got your point. I've got your point. I've got your point. What you have not answered is the failure of your Chief Minister, but I will let Zarita come in. Zarita, you've just heard what Kia Ghosh is saying. She's bringing in Bengal. For the moment, I don't want to speak about Bengal and Rajasthan because I've already spoken about Bengal and Rajasthan. And when I was speaking about Bengal and Rajasthan, I was not speaking about Manipur. But anyhow, go ahead. Essentially, what the BJP is accusing the Congress party of today is hypocrisy.
At the very outset, Shreya, as a daughter of Bharat Mata, and of course I come from the Northeast myself, I do hang my head in shame. And, the video that has surfaced, it is not of the naked women being paraded, but it is Bharat Mata who's being stripped of all her dignity that is there. It is for all the women in India today to hang their head in shame.
You are stripping Bharat Mata?
The state of Manipur has been going through 80 days of lawlessness. But what the BJP does is to divert and to digress. That is what they are doing. And when they're saying about the little girl, the 21-year-old girl, she has gone on report that she has said how the police were hand in glove with the mob who had handed over them to the mob to be assaulted sexually and then finally gang raped. So the situation in the Northeast, especially in Manipur, is out of hand. And it is only when the Supreme Court cracked its whip, that is when everybody started taking action. Why is the Chief Minister still sitting on his chair if he cannot manage the situation in his state? What is he still doing? You're trying to tell me he does not know that a FIR was filed in May? What is he doing as the Chief Minister of the state? The BJP has totally failed the nation. It has failed all the women of this nation today. There is nothing more to say about this government. And look at the two-faced and the hypocrisy that BJP has. Like you mentioned, the Dera Sacha Sauda, Ram Rahim, he's gone on another parole for 30 days. Brij Bhushan gets a bail. Talk about the Hathras case, talk about the Kathua case, talk about numerous cases. She talks about the rape capital. Let me tell you, it is UP that is the rape capital of India. 21 BJP MLAs and MPs have crimes against women. And it is the BJP ruled state of UP that tops the list.
So the lesser she says, the better it is. Because it is time for all the women to come together and fight for the cause of the women, not try to divert and digress the issue and take it to some other state. Instead, let's get back to Manipur and let's resolve the issue that is there at hand now.
Chitra, you're an independent journalist on this show. You know, there are others who have political loyalties, you don't. Do you actually believe that the state government didn't know, that the chief minister didn't know, that the police didn't know, and the video came as a surprise to them after 77 days, which is when 2 people got arrested? Do you believe the story and the yarns that the Manipur government is spinning for us right now?
Is this question for me, Shreya?
Chitra, yes, that question.
Shreya,
that question is for Chitra.
Okay. Shreya, you know, just to, before I come to your question, quickly, I'm appalled at the fact that political parties are talking about political agendas here. Because the very fact that when you were doing a lead on to this discussion, that there were 2 other major news. And then there's cases about what has happened in Rajasthan, what has happened in Chhattisgarh, what has happened in West Bengal. We are not doing a competition of who is getting raped and why and for what reasons. We are talking about a state which has been on boil for the past it's been 2.5 months. Can anybody here today on this program tell me of any instance in India where violence between 2 communities has been allowed to happen for more than even a week? The worst cases of of violence in India, be it the Babri, the fallout after the Babri Masjid riots or the Bombay bombings, it hasn't extended beyond a week. You know, it takes the army to organize a flag march, and then things get under control. But the fact here is that, you know, violence has been allowed to happen. When we talk about, you know, the impunity that has been given to the ruling class, it can be anywhere, okay. But when that happens, it gives people, you know, that sense of impunity and the belief that we can get away. And what happens is that when that happens, there will women who will always bear the brunt of that violence. That is the sad truth. Now, to come back to your question about whether the police knows, whether they knew, whether they didn't, whether they acted on it or didn't act. It's very difficult for me to ascertain because Manipur is a very small place, yes, but then we haven't seen the violence of this scale that we are seeing now, right now. Manipur is not new to violence. We are not new to violence at all. 19 years ago to this month, we had 12 women disrobing themselves at the Kangla fort saying, "Army, come and rape us." So that has happened in Manipur as well. But having said that, because of so many cases happening across the state where there is firing going on between 2 communities, where there are instances of people saying that the army came and just stood by, there are videos of RAF personnel actually calling out because there are certain ways where people galvanize in action. They go and clang the electric poles in the locality. And whenever somebody hears that, it means it's a distress call. So people get out on the road to find out what's happening. So there are videos where the RAF personnel are actually clanging on the electric post, and then women rush out to find out what it is happening, and then they get tear gas. So a lot of violence has been happening as well. But to say that because of this violence, they have not, that they can't justify and say that, that they didn't know about this. Because as laypersons, as somebody who is a woman who has studied conflict, let me tell you, and I'm sure everybody on this discussion also knows that whenever there is sectarian violence, there will always be sexual violence. There will always be sexual violence, and that is why there needs to be a crackdown on ensuring that the systems are in place. But the problem is that the systems are not in place and nobody cares, and that is why the violence in Manipur has been allowed to happen till now. I would say that.
Gargi Nandi Roy, the violence in Manipur has been allowed to happen. Fact is, today is the 78th day. Fact is that 145 people have died in the last 78 days. If there is political will, you can crack the whip, bring in the army, bring in the Assam rifle, and ensure that in 7 days, 1 week, the state is back to being peaceful. Please tell me if the Chief Minister of Manipur has failed in that. Just a minute. Yeah, you're audible. If the Chief Minister of the state has failed in that duty, he has failed in his duty to protect the women of Manipur, why should he continue to stay? Yesterday, he very proudly has claimed to India Today in an interview that there are 100 such FIRs, that we cannot respond to every allegation. Is this an allegation? This is a video, Gargi Nandi Roy. You have seen it and I have seen it. And I've been in the business long enough to know that the video is not doctored. And for the Chief Minister, after 64 days of the FIR, to come out and say that I have asked my cyber police to look at the authenticity of the video and ask them to comb the area where the incident took place, who is he trying to fool? No one is an idiot, you know. इस देश की जनता बेवकूफ नहीं है. Everyone is seeing what is happening in Manipur. And the big failure that Biren Singh has been as a chief minister.
Shreya, as a woman, obviously, like any other Indian woman or any woman, I'm really shocked. And you know, the saddest part is rape is something used as a tool, be it in a war, be it in riot, be it in ethnic, any violence or conflict. And that is the saddest part. And coming to the CM, if the CM is responsible, if the CM has failed in his duties, I think, yes, the central government should investigate and find out. And if he is responsible, yes, he should be removed. If the police is responsible in any way that the police remain silent, there should be actions taken against them. And I agree with you on this at every point. There cannot be two words. There cannot be two words about this. But yes, Shreya, I also think that at this point, whether it is Congress or TMC, they should rise above partisan politics, because this Manipur is a combustible mix of history, faith, and identity politics. Manipur is not a simple case. It has been raged by ethnic violence between 2015 and 17, when the 3 bills were passed by then Congress CM Okram Bobby Singh. And Rahul Gandhi never visited Manipur at that time. People had blocked roads when 9 people were shot, 9 young boys were shot dead. So it has been seen, Manipur is a very complex issue. And obviously, neither the Congress
so the Prime Minister has not visited Manipur either. No, so the Prime Minister has not visited Manipur either. What are you trying to say? If violence, are you trying to argue that if violence happened during the Congress's tenure, it can happen during the BJP tenure as well?
No.
In the Congress's tenure.
Yeah, what I said is it is not a simple law and order issue, but yes, there should be a heavy crackdown if required. If required, the center should even impose an emergency, but the situation should be brought under control. As I said, it is a combustible mix. It cannot be compared to any other crisis. But it is true that TMC leader Mamata Banerjee cannot say anything. She has no face. I have interviewed women who have fled from their villages, women who are raped in gunpoint. In West Bengal, Khala Hobe became synonymous with rape and murder. You know, the daughter of a BJP leader, whenever she used to go out, men of TMC would come and threaten her.
Again.
Khala Hobe. She was forced to send her daughter outside the city. So such is the situation, and she is criticized.
This cannot be the BJP's defense.
No,
this cannot, Gargi, this cannot be the BJP's defense today.
No, I'm not
defending. No, this is the BJP's defense. The Prime Minister has said it. Piyush Goyal has said it.
I'm not defending
that. We need to look at violence against women in all states, including Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh.
I am saying if Biren Singh is responsible, if
it happens in Bengal, doesn't mean it should happen in Manipur.
No, it should happen nowhere in the world. It should not happen anywhere in the world. In a civilized society, this should not happen. But unfortunate that everywhere rape is used against women whenever there is a conflict situation, and that is the saddest part. But having said that, when the Congress
That is
person
true.
is saying, let me give a data that Rajasthan in 2021 highest in rape number. Do you know the number of registered rape cases was 31,677, of which 6,337 were
We
in
do.
Rajasthan. So please, we are not here to compare. I am saying whoever is accused in Manipur, 2 boys are arrested, there were 800, 900 monks, whoever is accused, arrest them and hang them immediately. It should not even take time. Let the justice system be fast-tracked and let them be hanged. And if the chief minister is anyway responsible, if he has shown negligence, let actions be taken against the chief minister. I'm no one
Of course he has. So
I'm not supporting.
Of course he has shown negligence. Of course he has shown incompetence.
Yes, the prime minister should.
Of course he has shown negligence and incompetence.
If let the prime minister take action against him, and the
78
police
days
who are present and who have kept silent, the action should be taken against them. That also I'm saying, but I am at the same time saying neither Congress nor TMC can just come and show that holier than thou attitude, because whatever has happened in Congress rule state and TMC rule state, nobody has forgotten what has happened during Ajmer in 92. A toxic
I will let Zarita respond to that.
Okay.
I will let Zarita respond to that. But again, this cannot be the BJP's. Just एक मिनट. This cannot be the BJP's defense. कि बंगाल में हुआ, तो अब मणिपुर में भी हो रहा है. This cannot be anyone's defense. But I'll let Zarita, who's the spokesperson of the Congress party. Okay. Just let her come in. Just let Zarita come in.
They cannot condemn. Ask her to condemn the Rajasthan rapes.
एक मिनट. Okay.
We are shocked. We are condemning it. I'm saying hang the accused. I'm saying take action against the CM if he is responsible for negligence and incompetent. Take action against the Manipur police who are responsible.
Yes, you can come in here. Okay, Gargi, we've heard your Gargi. हो गया. Gargi, please. I don't want. Please. I think all of us want this debate to be civilized. Please go ahead, Zarita.
Shreya, what's happening is that the Congress has just one spokesperson and the BJP has two. Okay? So if you're talking about Rajasthan rape, you're talking about Chhattisgarh rape, yes, the perpetrators were arrested and given due punishment, whatever was required. Now, our issue is not to digress. Our issue is to ask a few questions that is at hand, and which is the most important. One of the most important, or rather there are 4 important questions that needs to be asked at the moment, is that will the Prime Minister address both the houses of the Parliament on the Manipur issue, which is the most important thing when we're dealing with Manipur. Second, the Prime Minister speaks of Rajdhan. Will he ask the Chief Minister of Manipur to resign because he cannot handle the state? Third, will the Prime Minister ask the Home Minister that why after 78 days there is still violence in Manipur? Fourth, will the Prime Minister also ask the Women and Child Welfare Minister what took so long for her to tweet? When she needs to call a press conference for her daughter, it does not take time. But when it is the daughters of India who are assaulted sexually, why does it take 77 days to even react to it? Just a tweet does not do it. If you cannot hold that chair, let it go. But most importantly, what is happening in Manipur today is so wrong substantially. I have to tell you this, and morally it is more chilling. Why? Because of the cynicism of the top man ruling the country. And what is taking so long for him to remove somebody who's so incompetent from the chair of the Chief Minister of the state? Like you said, the video cannot be doctored. The girl has gone on record. The younger girl has gone on record to say what happened to them. After this, they're still getting the cyber police to verify whether the video is authentic or not. There is an internet ban today for so many days, Shreya. But can you imagine the number of heinous crimes that is going to come out once the internet is restored? Nobody thinks about it. We are busy talking about everything else, pointing fingers. Yes. But we all need to do right now is to restore peace in Manipur. It does not matter which party you belong to. It matters as a woman. And as a woman, you need to stand up for what is right Today, it's those two girls. Tomorrow, it might be your daughter, your sister, your mother who's being naked, who's being paraded naked. So we need to take a call. That's the need of the hour, Shreya.
That's true. Zainab, just come in here. We've seen in conflict zones, women's bodies often become battlegrounds.
Just 20 seconds, Shreya.
The Supreme Court, I think, give me a minute, Kia. Give me a minute. Zainab, we've seen the Supreme Court today speak on behalf of all us citizens. And the Supreme Court is saying that this is the grossest form of a human rights violation, that nothing could be worse than what has happened in Manipur. I want to ask you, Zainab, you've heard everyone, and there's a reason why I've come to you in the end. You've heard absolutely everyone on this panel. Now tell me, as a citizen of this country, how you felt when you saw the video and then when you saw what has happened through the day here in Delhi.
Shreya, seeing the video, I can't even speak about it. And I am not from Manipur, but as a woman, to see another woman naked, and the whole nation is watching this. It's not just the people who were there in the mob who watched it. Now, the whole nation has watched it. No matter how many pictures we blur, no matter how much we try and remove these videos from YouTube, everyone has watched it. I mean, women are being paraded naked. They're being pinched. They're being groped. They're being sexualized. And I'm purposely saying this on television because we tend to not say these things to avoid, the shame that comes with it. But those women have been shamed. And I want to read a message. I have a friend from college who's from Manipur. And she sent me a message on May 14th. And the message reads this: "Hi, Zainab, is there any way you can help us? If you're aware of the situation in Manipur, I'm in Delhi right now. I had to flee with my little one. I'm feeling so helpless." So I asked her, how can I help her? And you know what her answer was? She said, just let people know the harrowing experiences that we are going through, because it's going to be a long and tedious one. She sent me this message on 14th May. And today it's 20th July. And she was right. It's been a very long, tedious, harrowing experience for the people of Manipur, especially the women of Manipur and the children of Manipur. And my one problem is that when, as women in a panel, we are sitting, I understand their political affiliations. I understand that as a spokesperson, you have to speak for your party. But I think the basic decency is to say that I hope the culprits are nabbed and I hope that accountability is given. And N. Biren Singh right now stands as not someone innocent, not someone who was not aware. Look, if this was 10 days after this violence had broken out, I would have given the benefit of doubt to the CM and said, okay, let him do his work. 20 days on, let him do his work. 30 days on, let him. It's 78 days. It's going to be almost 3 months. Manipur is burning. There is an internet blackout, and yet we are seeing such harrowing videos and there is no accountability. It can be clearly seen today in this little press conference. It's not even a press conference. It's one-liner that Shri Biren Singh said right now. But what you can see clearly from what he said yesterday to what he said today, it's evident that the center has put pressure on him for some accountability, because now it's become shameless. The situation of Manipur is so grave and none of us are talking about it, which is why, the common debate of Northeastern Indians feeling left out. This is the reality, that we are not giving enough attention. They are a part of India and this state needs to be addressed immediately. This is an emergency situation in that state. Two communities are brutally killing each other. They're sexualizing women. And we are here saying, but what happened in Rajasthan and what happened in Chhattisgarh? You should be ashamed. I'm feeling so emotional right now, just thinking. My friend is sending me a message and I haven't heard of her since then. God knows what's happened to her family. And here we are talking about, I want to ask the BJP spokesperson and anyone who's a BJP supporter, I want to very respectfully ask you guys, please tell me something. Are you trying to emulate the opposition? Are you trying to become like the opposition? Indians voted out the opposition because they were not performing. And we voted in BJP because we wanted performance. And now you're saying, oh, but Congress is being so bad. Why are they cannot be holier than thou? We already know they are not holier than thou. That's why they were voted out of power. Now you're voted into power. You're in power in Manipur. Please do the right thing. I think it's a very simple demand as a citizen of this nation, as a woman of this nation. It's absolutely gut-wrenching. This hyper-masculinity, everybody knows sexual assault is an institutionalized riot system. Everyone knows this. It's common knowledge. So when you know riots have broken out in a state, the first thing you do is protect women and children. Why has that not happened 77 days on? That's my only question to everyone on this panel and everyone listening to me. I think please stop the bickering. As women, this is the least respect we can give each other. By not bickering, at least on TV, about but what happened there and what happened. We already know the state of women is terrible. Let's not do this on television and make a mockery of ourselves.
Let me respond to Zainab. Zainab, I completely agree with you.
I'm giving you exactly 20 seconds.
Fine. Enough for me. Zainab, as you said, you're being emotional as a woman, as a mother, even I'm being emotional. And as I said, I think you must have heard what I said in my opening statement, that I want the culprits to be, I think hanging is also a lesser punishment for them. They need to be given the strictest punishment. Having said that, obviously I represent a state where women are being perpetually, they are being raped. And to Ma'am Zarita, the Congress spokesperson,
the culprit in this case is the Chief Minister, who for 78 days has not been able to control what is happening in his state. His state is at war. This is a civil war in the state of Manipur.
Whoever is guilty, whoever. I can't forget those daring women back in, I think, 2004, who stripped in front of the army for protecting themselves. Manipur has been always known for daring women. I support their courage. I salute their courage. And obviously, where have I said, Zainab?
This incident had nothing to do with a woman's courage.
Culprits to go free. They should be
everything to do with a woman's body being turned into a battleground. Okay, we'll leave it there. I'm out of time. I'm going to thank you ladies for joining us this evening.
Saying that, but having said that, last 5 seconds,
I know what you're saying here.
I have to quote this
don't go back to Rajasthan. Don't go back to Manipur. Don't go back to Rajasthan. Don't go back to West Bengal, because I can then go back to Ram Rahim and Haryana. Nahi kiya. The point is, if you go to West Bengal and if you go to Rajasthan, I can go to Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh and I can go to Ram Rahim as well. So let's speak about Manipur. Don't take away from what has happened in Manipur, please. Kia, please don't take away from what has happened in Manipur. What has happened in Manipur has shamed this country. What happened in Manipur 77 days ago was not 2 women being stripped. It was every woman in this country being stripped. Every woman. It was this country being stripped. We leave it there. Kia, I'm out of time. I'm out of time. We leave it there. I don't want this to become a slanging match. I just don't want this to become a slanging match. This is not the day, today is not the day to raise our voices and argue with each other. I think we all know what the right thing to do for the BJP is in this case, is to simply sack the Chief Minister. He has failed in his duty. There has to be accountability. Someone has to be held accountable for what has happened to those 3 women. Someone has to be held accountable for the fact that 145 people have died in Manipur in the last 78 days. Has accountability been fixed so far? Not so far. Gargi Nandi Roy, thank you. Zarita, thanks very much for joining us. Chitra, thank you very much. Zainab, good to have you on the show. And Kia, you've had a tough job today defending the BJP. You've done a good job. Thank you very much for joining us as well. I'm stepping into a quick break on the show. There's more on the other side. Do stay with us.